Okay, let's try this again. If you are watching, I have one person watching right now. Throw something in the chat if you can. Hello. Were you here before and was the chat not working, Desiree? I'm just really curious. Um, because I had a few people watching, but I was getting no responses, which told me something was not working right. So let me know if that wasn't working right. Don't know what was happening. Um, okay, oh yeah, I was seeing nothing. I'm seeing you now, so that's good. That makes me feel a little better. I don't know how much you heard, how much you didn't. Um, I don't know what was going on. YouTube, I guess. I guess. So we're gonna try this again. We'll give a little time for some people to show up. Hopefully, more people are seeing it. If it starts to have problems, let me know. As I mentioned before, I've gotten flops in again. Zepsern, what's going on, buddy? I'm glad that I can see you guys now. It makes me feel a little better. Um, so yeah, I don't know what you guys heard from before because again, I wasn't seeing responses. We heard it all, just chat was wonky. Yeah, I was able to put some in there and I saw nothing. That was weird. YouTube, I'm afraid to flip YouTube off right now because uh I'm afraid to flip YouTube off right now because I'm afraid they'll screw me over again. Um but yeah, you heard stuff on Hellboy. Yeah, I talked also about the casting uh, for the Mandalorian. I don't have much. Look, I'm just going to start over. This is the low budget live stream. As always, I'm your host, the real Gino Reynolds. You guys know that by now. Yeah, this, yeah, it's these last couple weeks. I did not have a show prepared. Um, so just been sick and working and everything else. I'm so behind on all my work. I'm I've seen movies, I just haven't been able to talk about them. Yesterday I was sick all day. I didn't even think there was going to be a show today. So let's continue. If you guys have anything you want to talk about and the chat is still working, uh, just let me know in the chat there. What I'm going to do now, since I know both of you, Zepsern and Desiree, you both had comments uh, uh, on YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and talk about those. Is everything still working? Just let me know that, please, just to make sure. Uh, yes. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. All right. Yeah. I'm. Anytime now I don't see chats pop up, I'm gonna be like, is it still working? So yeah, you guys had comments on YouTube, so I'm gonna pop that up. Zepsern, you said, I mean, what I've been obsessed with lately is YouTube's rewind video getting such negative attention. How them not putting Felix or Logan Paul made it the most disliked video ever. It all stems from YouTube, or you think it all stems from YouTube's unwillingness to take a stand and remove their toxic people from the site and even promote them. Of course, they didn't use these guys, but YouTube's knack is trying to have their cake and eat it too. Has finally come to roost on them. Now they're mostly associated with these horrible people, and instead of nipping in the bud early and banning them as soon as the Nazi and Suicide Forest stuff happened, YouTube decided to let them prosper. I'm not really sure how I feel about all that. I mean, even though I use the platform, I'm not the biggest fan of YouTube. I wish there was an alternative. Um, because YouTube has become, as we've talked about before, YouTube has become mm, it's become a too much of a beast now. It's too much of a corporate beast. I mean, it used to be just about putting cool videos on the internet, and now it's just this huge business that money talks, and it doesn't matter what people say or stuff anymore. They say they're cleaning up things, but then you get the Suicide Forest video, or you get, you've still got guys on there, like your Medicars and Keemstars that can kind of say whatever they want and they're making money from it. I mean, it's there's really YouTube. It's really hard to talk about because yeah, YouTube is there is a dissatisfaction for YouTube, but until there's a plausible alternative to YouTube, uh, I mean, what is it gonna was Daily Motion gonna take over? No. And unless there was ever a YouTube is too easy. It's like Facebook or Twitter. I mean, it's just too easy, and there's really not a lot of alternatives to it. So, um, I'm not sure what I think about that. I mean, the stuff with PewDiePie, yeah, it was bad what he said, but it's I think he was trying to be funny. I don't I mean, of course I don't agree with what he said, but he was, trying to make jokes, trying to get what was it those Fiverr people do, say stupid things, which I mean, he probably should have thought about using something a little less racy. um Probably would have been the best thing. And then now there's this thing with him. uh he was giving shout outs to the channels, and uh he apparently somebody he gave a comment to an anime video for. They also had like Nazi stuff on their channels again, and then he was just like, crap, it happened again. So I mean, I tell you what, when you get that big, I imagine you can't keep your eye on everything. I mean, yeah, but is he too big to fail? I mean, people are growing his channel now just because they want to beat that, what is it, T series or whatever. So I'm not really sure what I think about that. YouTube itself, the YouTube Rewind thing. I mean, I've always thought the videos were kind of lame anyway. Um, but this one, I mean, the ones I've seen, I saw this one because I watched other people watch it, kind of their reactions to it, I guess. And they were saying, it was weird seeing like Will Smith on it and stuff. That's when I think of YouTube, that's not what I think of. Uh, that's not what I think when want what I want out of YouTube. Um, so yeah, the YouTube rewinds have never been much to me. The YouTube rewinds never really meant much to me anyway, but I don't think they really give an honest take on what YouTube is. I can't remember who did a video, but they said um they kind of made up their own YouTube rewind. I want to say it was Memology, maybe, and it was showing stuff like the suicide forest and things like that, or whatever they could show anyway. And it was just saying this is the true rewind, because rewind is just kind of a way for them to kind of toot their own horn and whatever. It doesn't matter much to me. I mean, YouTube's never going to change. They say they are. They say they're going to, you know, again, they're going to keep an eye on stuff better and not let certain things through. And they still, if channels are too big, they're not going to do anything to them. And Zepstar says YouTube did this themselves. They didn't nip Logan or Felix when they could, and now they are the face of YouTube. The awful, disfigured, horrible face. Yeah, YouTube. YouTube's an ugly place, and again, if there were another avenue, I mean, I guess I could, yeah, I'll go and do Facebook Live because everyone knows how I feel about Facebook, right? Um, so I mean, there's like Twitter Live too. I mean, I could always do something like that, I guess. But I mean, when it comes to uploading videos like my reviews and stuff, it's, I mean, this is it really, unless some company like, I don't know who owns what anymore because it seems everyone owns everyone. Excuse me. Rum chata and eggnog, by the way, 'tis the season. Um, unless some bigger company comes up with some kind of video uploading alternative, I mean, YouTube will always be the face of video uploading, and I mean, and they can pretty much do whatever the hell they want, which is kind of unfortunate. But anyway, Desiree says, "Yeah, I've never seen the YouTube rewinds. Never interested me. And it's just they're just like, "Hey, guess what? Guess what we did this year? Guess what we did this year?" That's all the YouTube rewinds are to me, and they don't mean much to me. I'm just treating YouTube the way I want it to be. Um, and that's just me uploading videos, having fun. And if I looked at it any differently, I'd probably drive myself crazy. If this were a business for me, if this were my job, and I can imagine the way people who use it as a job feel, uh, it has to drive them nuts doing these. So, I mean, yeah, YouTube is just I don't like what it's become, but I'm just trying to keep it what I want it to be. And that's really all I can do. If there were ever another avenue, I would definitely check it out. Okay, I'm gonna look at Desiree's comment. She had a lot of stuff here. Momoa said Cavill is still Superman. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. Um, until I see anything different. Uh, I'm until they officially announce Cavill is done as Superman, I'm not gonna believe it. I mean, do they need to watch what direction they're taking? Yes, because uh, I saw Aquaman. It's okay. Well, what was one of the headlines I saw? It's H2 okay. Um, it's okay, but you can tell they've had to cover up some Justice League stuff, maybe. They do mention Steppenwolf. Um, they mentioned that yeah, you helped beat Steppenwolf. That's the only thing they really mentioned about Justice League. The rest of it's an Aquaman adventure. Honestly, I could tell you that Aquaman felt like a not as good, but a super powered Indiana Jones type movie, maybe. In a way, I'd rather see Indiana Jones in the Lost City of Atlantis, to be honest. Um, uh, but yeah, the movie was fine. The ending is kind of cheesy. It's pretty paint by numbers. There's no real surprise. If you love Black Manta, you're not gonna be happy. So there's that. I'm so far behind on my reviews. On Friday, I'm gonna do a catch up review because I'm so far behind and I can't do that many videos that quick without staying behind. Um, so I'm gonna see a couple movies tomorrow. I'm gonna see the Jennifer Lopez movie tomorrow, whatever it's called, and I'm gonna see Marwin tomorrow, and then everything I've seen on Friday, I'm just gonna work on a this is all I've seen review because I have Mortal Engines, The Mule, Mary Poppins, Aquaman. I mean, there's just so many movies I've seen, and I gotta catch up. Excuse me. Benjamin Longbone says Momoa's not going to throw his castmate in a bust, even if he isn't Superman. Probably true, but I'm willing to bet he's still Superman. Um, let's see. As far as DC goes, being okay as a win. Well, I mean, at least it felt like a superhero movie. Aquaman has never been my favorite character. I don't dislike him as a lot of many people do. I I think Um, there's more potential for that character than a lot of people give it credit for. But do I really need to see another Aquaman movie? No. Is there gonna be another Aquaman movie? Yes. Daniel, how's it going? Let's see. Zepstern, by the way, Merry Christmas since it's in 7 days and all. Yes. Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate to you too. Um, I'm definitely ready for it to be over. Holidays aren't my favorite, but I am happy to say I'm done with my Christmas shopping and everything. I've kind of been done. I had get stocking stuffers this week, and that was it. So I was happy that I'm happy to be done. We're getting all our stuff done on Sunday and on Tuesday, so I'll be done with Christmas by then, and I'm happy about that. Um, I'm always happy to have my shopping done and everything. It's not been a terrible year, but the holidays just kind of remind me of, you know, they've never really been happy times for me. I mean, I know my kids love it, and I'm happy for them. But for me personally, it's just never really my time of year. Um, just kind of, I get that winter time depression going on. So, it's I'll be happy when it's done. But again, my kids enjoy it, so I at least get some enjoyment out of that. Go back to the YouTube questions here, and I'll get back to the chat here in a second. Desiree had The Cure finally being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Well, when it comes to Hall of Fames, someone's always going to get passed up. Just about anybody, you can say it's about time. Let's see. The new Disney Pixar fantasy film called Onward, about elves. Um, I just heard about it. I don't think I saw anything else about it, so I can't really comment on that one. Um, I thought if I'm thinking of the right thing, I thought the font looked an awful lot like Frozen's, just not ice. If I'm thinking of the right thing. Why did I get so much weird Christian movie trailers in front of Spider-Man? I don't know. When I saw it at a preview screening, so I didn't get any trailers. But yeah, that's odd. I mean, I guess they bought the time. Yes, Benicio del Toro in the live action Dora the Explorer. I did hear about this. I he's Swiper, and I love it. I'll say that. I love the fact they Swiper. Now, is he going to be an animated fox, or is he going to be Benicio del Toro as a robber? I don't know. He better be the damn fox. That's all I got to say. Um, but yeah, I thought he was a good choice. I really thought they were going to do something cheesy with that, but the fact that they got him, uh, and the fact that he worked with Isabella Moner in Sicario 2, that's not terrible either because they've worked together before. So, um, let's see. Benjamin asks, "What's your thought on the mule?" I'm hearing very conflicting things. The mule, if you look at the true story, because it is quote unquote inspired by a true story, a lot of it that they do in the movie isn't true, or while um, there is some of it that they said, yes, it was kind of like this. It's definitely way different than the truth. So don't go into that movie thinking that it's like totally based on this true story, because again, it's inspired by. Um, I thought the mule was okay. I mean, it's kind of, I mean, it's Clint Eastwood being Clint Eastwood, and it it reminded me a little bit of it reminded me a little bit of The Old Man and the Gun. Definitely not as good a movie. The Robert Redford movie, which was based on a true story as well. Um, it reminded me a lot of that. Just a little harsher because I believe it's an R. Um, it was fine. Because there's like one thing that I learned, and I see that you said you'd never heard the true story. There's a website called History versus Hollywood that'll kind of say, okay, here's the actor, and then here's the person they're based on. They kind of compare them, and then they say, well, did this happen? Did this happen? And they kind of go through and they do their research, and they're a really good website. And the uh, the drug cartel leader character, the Andy Garcia character, I don't remember his name in the movie, but it's supposedly he's based on El Chapo, which, let's just say, if this were the true story, couldn't be the true story. Without spoiling something, I can't really say, but they're saying he's supposed to be El Chapo. Um, so you know, the movie itself's fine. I enjoyed it. I saw it on the same day I saw Mortal Engines, which I keep wanting to call Mortal Instruments, and I probably already did if I mentioned it earlier. Um, but the Mortal I saw it, I can't remember if I saw it after Mortal Engines or before. I think I saw it before, and I definitely enjoyed it more than Mortal Engines. Um, it was a fine Clint Eastwood movie, definitely better than that 1517 to Paris thing that he came out with last. But it shows, Eastwood's character's kind of a man out of time, where he'll say something racist every now and then, or he's got some learning to do, and I thought the ending was really bad. The ending to me just didn't make any sense whatsoever. I know what they were trying to say with the ending, and again, I don't really want to spoil it, but I understood what they were trying to say, like what the character was trying to do, but it's like, yeah, but every logical person would have done this instead. So, I thought it was okay. I mean, it's not a rush to the theater movie to see, but um I thought it was all right. Daniel says, just watched Mary Poppins Returns today and it was great. Um, expect that there was a temper tantrum, except there's a temper tantrum kid in the audience through the whole movie. That sucks. I saw it today. Now, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say to anybody that enjoyed that movie that they shouldn't. Um, and the reason I say that is because I mean, I appreciate Mary Poppins, the making of it, and the animation and everything else. And this, I'm talking about the older one. But honestly, it's not my favorite movie. It's not one that I watch all the time, but I understand why people really enjoy it. And I think it's okay. And I kind of thought the same thing with this new one. For those that really enjoy it, uh, I understand. I really do. But for me, it just really didn't do anything for me. Um, I thought Emily Blunt was great. Um, what's his name? Ben Winshaw, the guy that was playing the adult, the dad. He, we've mentioned this before, I think, on this stream. Um, that anytime I hear him, all I'm going to hear is Paddington. And and so anytime he talked, all I could hear was Paddington, and one of the characters said marmalade. The main character said marmalade, and I'm like, oh, please say marmalade, please say marmalade, but he didn't. I was a little upset. It was fine. I can't say that the music would be as memorable as the first one, but if it couldn't be anyway. It felt like a sequel to Mary Poppins, so I mean, it did its job. But for me, it didn't do anything much for me, but I understand if people enjoy it because it did. I thought that Emily Blunt did a great job as Mary Poppins. I mean, uh, the villain, and his name escaped me. I'm gonna feel dumb not remembering his name. The dude uh, that was supposed to be Paddington, if I'm not mistaken, and help me out with this if you guys would. I'm just drawing a blank. Um, but dude had a mustache, and I'm surprised he just wasn't twirling it. Thank you, Colin Firth. Thank you very much. I don't know why I draw a blank there. I love that guy. I mean, I'm just a little tired, and again, I'm getting over the sickies, and I still don't feel fantastic. So, um, but yeah, he had a mustache, and I was just surprised he wasn't doing this, and you know, acting like Snidely Whiplash. So I mean, the movie is pretty cut and dry, but it was supposed to be. You know, um it was supposed to be uh easy for kids to understand, and the dance numbers are supposed to be just fun for the kids to understand. So I mean, I get it. I thought it looked great. It definitely lived up to the spirit of the original, but just like the original, it didn't do much for me. One thing I wasn't real keen on is, man, they're really trying to push Lin Manuel, whatever his name is, um, as like a leading man. and I don't know. He's a very talented guy. I've never seen Hamilton and all that stuff, so I can't really judge him too much. But I thought that the little love story in there with him, Linwell Manuel Miranda, that's it. I think. Um, but I thought the little love story was kind of forced with him a little bit. But yeah, what are you gonna do? I was just glad they didn't like force a love story for Mary Poppins or something. I was really afraid that that might happen because, the main guy's wife passes away. I mean, you learn that from the trailer, and I was like, oh, tell me they're not doing that. But anyway, um, Daniel says the ending to the mule is better than the ending in the Happy Time Murders. Honestly, I don't remember the ending to the Happy Time Murders, but I remember thinking, man, I wish this movie was better, but I didn't think it was as bad as everyone thought it was. I mean, trust me. I mean, granted, don't get me wrong, there was some garbage in that movie, but it could have been way better. It should have been way better. Um, Ryan says, "What was the first Disney movie you ever saw, animated or live action?" Oh boy, it had to be some. I want to say it was Snow White, but I I can't really. I mean, I remember the one that I've always appreciated the most from me being a kid would have been Tron, because even to this day I watch that movie, and I finally showed my son that movie. Um, so yeah, it had to be. I think the first one I probably saw was something like Snow White or Bambi. I saw one of them. I think I saw Bambi in the theater, but I don't remember what year it came out. I don't. I mean, of course, it probably wasn't new, whenever I saw it. But I remember seeing that one in the theater, but I don't know if it's the first one I ever saw or not. I tend to forget my early years. 1942. Yeah, definitely. I'm not that old. um, yeah, I mean, it must, of course, they release stuff all the time. Disney releases stuff all the time. Um, let's see. Daniel says, was it crowded at your showing of Mary Poppins Returns? Because mine is, and that's why I have a crying brat. Theater is about half full. It was a 1 o'clock showing. I had to go to Springfield to see it so I could come back and get back for this and get this new Wi-Fi adapter attached, which apparently seems to be working okay. Um, at least as of right now. Um, and yeah, I went to go see the 1 o'clock showing, so I wasn't expecting a ton of people. There was more people than I thought there would be. There was a few little kids. I had no issues, but I mean, a packed theater, you're gonna have somebody. Um, but let's see. I'm looking good for my age, Benjamin says. You don't know how old I am. Uh, I'm 400 years old. But then again, um, let's see. Desiree says, "I love Lin Manuel Miranda." Man, why can I not say that guy's name? But I can't imagine anything other than Hamilton for him being a leading man. Yeah, like I said, I've never seen Hamilton. It's just I have a feeling that they're gonna try to get him to be like a leading man in starting probably comedies. I just have a feeling that's what they're gonna try to do with him. Um, but I just I don't I don't know. I just don't see it. I want to see Hamilton. I really do because I hear it's really cool. But I just, as of right now, I mean, I really liked his score and his music and stuff for Moana. I'm not saying the guy ain't talented, uh, but I'm not seeing him being leading man material right now. Daniel says, "Wait, they didn't play Mary Poppins Returns to Carrot." No, they did. I just had to see an earlier show, so I went to Springfield. We didn't have any 1 o'clock shows, and I would have had to seen it at 4. Rush home, try to hook up this new Wi-Fi system I got to hopefully keep me from my stream from not dying. So I went to the earlier show in Springfield. But no, we got it at every theater here. Trust me, every theater is going to get Mary Poppins Returns. It's Disney. Um, Benjamin says, I'm sorry if you thought, no, man, you weren't being rude. No, no, I just couldn't remember if Bambi when it came out. I just know I've seen it in theaters, so it had to have been in the 80s where they re-released it. No, no, don't worry about it. I just couldn't remember when it came out in theaters. So no, man, you weren't rude, man. This is a cool stream. As long as you're cool, I'm cool, and we're cool. Let's see. Disney using Miranda lots lately, not just for Mary Poppins, but he did the songs from Moana and is the voice of Gizmo Duck. Oh, that's right, he is in the new DuckTales, isn't he? I've only got to see the first one. I really want to go watch that show. I've been trying to watch a lot of different shows. Now that Voltron is ending, I want to finish that and stuff. But yeah, DuckTales is one I want to check out. I enjoyed the new one. I don't know if I can say I liked it better than the older one, but I did enjoy what they had in the first two episodes or whatever it was. But yeah, he's definitely a Disney boy now. Let's see. Scott says, "Hey Gino, love the content. Keep it up. Thank you very much. I am trying." Daniel says, have you bought Sergeant Stubby to show it to your kids yet? I guess it is out now, isn't it? I probably will be buying that one. Um, I mentioned my son enjoyed watching me play Valiant Hearts and enjoyed kind of that war story as I was playing it, and I think he would really dig Sergeant Stubby. If you haven't seen Sergeant Stubby, it's a very underrated movie. And I think it got snubbed for the Golden Globes, and it'll probably get snubbed for the Oscars because, of course, there's Disney movies and everything. I'm not saying that it'd win Best of the Year, but it's definitely going to be one of my favorites. It'll be in my nominees for whenever I do the Opie Awards. But but yeah, I forgot it was coming out. Yeah, I will be probably picking it up here soon because I really like that movie a lot. Ryan says, "What are your kids' favorite shows right now?" Ryan, the youngest, is he watches Ben 10 a lot. And that's uh what he's getting for Christmas. Uh he ain't gonna watch this before Christmas if at all. Um and then he's been Netflix has those kind of choose your own adventure things right now. He's really into the Minecraft one, the Minecraft Adventures or Story Mode or whatever it's called that they had the game for. Well, they also have the Netflix series for that, and he loves playing that because he is a if it's Mario or Minecraft, that's his thing right now, or whatever Daddy plays. He watched me play my Demon Stone playthrough. I told him unfortunately the next one, which I was hoping to start this last week or this week, but I just being sick, I haven't been able to play the game I'm playing next. He's not going to be able to watch. Um, but and then Andy will watch just about whatever. Every now and then he gets into something different. He acts like he's into a lot of the Disney stuff. He's into a lot of the PBS stuff. But then all of a sudden he'll want to watch Rescue Bots or he'll take a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles DVD to, Nana's house or something if he's spending the night. So which is stuff he's never really been into. So I think he wants to get into some of that stuff, but he's more into. I mean, when we've been watching a lot of Odd Squad lately on PBS or things like that, so that's kind of really what he's been into. Daniel says, "I saw Sergeant Stubby in the theater, and it was only me and mom with two daughters." At my showing, yeah, I don't remember there being a lot of people at mine either. I think there was only like me and one or two other people, and it was really unfortunate because that movie kind of flew under the radar when it came out. Because I remember seeing pictures from it before it came out, and I was like, "What is this?" It looks like if you just see pictures of it, it looks like one of those um oh, what do you want to call it? Not Disney DVD releases, you know what I mean? Those trying to they're trying to sell DVDs based on other better movies. So it looked like one of those if you just see a picture from it. But then I went to see it and I was expecting nothing out of this movie, nothing at all. And I enjoyed that movie from start to finish. And I'm upset that not more people uh, would get to see it. Now, is it extremely totally true to the true life story? No. But it's still, there's a lot of things that happen in Sergeant Stubby that did happen. So I think Sergeant Stubby is the type of movie, and I think I've said this before, it's the type of movie that I would love it if they showed that to kids in school, because it's a better way to show kids that part of history without having to show them the gruesome details. I mean, that movie had some scary moments, but it's not bloody, but it is about war. I mean, it's a way of showing them that, and I think it would be uh it would be a good way to show kids that. So definitely a cool movie, and I look forward to showing my kids that. Yeah, I keep forgetting it's either out now or it's coming out very soon. I know it's coming out if it hasn't already, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it. um let's see. Ryan says, in relation to what Daniel said, the last anime movie I saw in theaters, there was literally only one. There was the Star. It was completely empty. Yeah, when I went to see, I didn't get to see the Star. I just couldn't bring myself to go see it because I would have had to gone to Springfield, and I didn't. I don't really like having to go to Springfield unless either A, it's something I really want to see, or B, I'm going to work with Brad or something, and then I'll definitely make the trip to Springfield. But um, yeah, I went and saw Rock Dog, and I don't remember there being anyone in that theater with Rock Dog. And boy, I'm not surprised by that. Excuse me. So yeah, Rock Dog was bad. Benjamin says they just showed us Saving Private Ryan when I was in school. They never showed that to us because it came out after I was in school. But the movie they showed us in school, and this isn't historically accurate, but they tried to convince us that it was just like the book. They showed us Bram Stoker's Dracula. Uh, and I tried to tell everyone that this is not like the book. Well, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's like, have you read the book? I mean, yes, there is stuff that is right, but I- it was something I was surprised they showed us in school. Especially some of the parts with Lucy. Um, but let's see. The last movie I was in though had one person who was Thoroughbreds. That's unfortunate. Thoroughbreds is great. Um, I did I see I didn't see that in the I think I did see that in the theater. I know I had to travel for it. It's hard to remember because some movies like that I get screeners for. Um, so I do remember seeing it. And I enjoyed Thoroughbreds. I can't remember when I saw it though. If I saw it at home, I vaguely remember watching it at home. So maybe I had a screener for it. I don't remember. That's a great movie though. Favorite PBS kids show, old and current. Of course, you gotta throw Sesame Street in there. Um, you gotta throw. Uh, let's see. See, I didn't watch a ton of PBS growing up. I mean, I watched like Mister Rogers' Neighborhood, and um, I watched Sesame Street. Those are the ones I really remember. Anything my kid watches now, I'll watch with him. I mean, I like watching, Odd Squad or Arthur. And granted, Arthur, whenever I was in sometime in elementary school, we had the author of that book series. That was way before they had the cartoon, but he came to our school. I vaguely remember it. I just remember it happened. Um, but yeah, I'll watch just about anything my son's watching. He likes it all, and I'll watch it with him, whatever it is. I mean, I'm cool with it. Um, I do like Odd Squad though. Weirdly, it's a weirdly dumb show, but I do enjoy it when we watch it because we have a good time watching it because it's really silly. And it teaches you math and stuff, so it helps with him learning stuff. Let's see. Bram Stoker's Dracula is still more accurate than Billy the Kid versus Dracula. Yes, it is. Desiree says, for me, it was Solo. I was totally alone. Spider Man in the Spider Verse. It was me, two couple. Really, not a lot of people in Spider Man. That's kind of surprising. Of course, I went to the first showing of the okay, and I was the only one who stayed till after the credits. So, yeah. It was weird. When I mentioned this in my review of Spider-Verse. Whenever I went to uh, the screening, they told us that people had been trying to take, they had to kick somebody out and confiscate their stuff because they had been trying to tape the end credits to Spider-Verse. So they were telling us there is end credits in Spider-Verse, and then people started to leave. It's like, come on, they're gonna bank off of Marvel any way they can. Whenever it comes to this Spider-Man Spider-Verse thing they're doing. I will say that after seeing Spider-Verse, they need to just stop concentrating on live action Sony non-Spider-Man Spidey Venomverse, whatever it's going to be called. They had a name for it that's really dumb, but they need to concentrate on the animated thing because the animated thing was cool. Um, let's see. Zebster says, saw a rock dog bootleg with three friends. Best riff we've ever done. Um, if you saw a rock dog bootleg, I would still be asking for my money back. But no, it definitely would be one to sit there and make fun of. Um, do you watch Sesame Street with your kid more on HBO Family or PBS? I don't have HBO at the moment. I'll be getting it back whenever Game of Thrones comes back. And actually, I kind of want to get it back from whenever True Detective comes back because the Mahershala Ali season looks awesome. Um, when I had HBO, we watched some on there. My kid watches a lot of his PBS on his tablet on the PBS Kids app. So whatever's on there, we usually watch more of that. I got one more thing here on the YouTube community section. Which, by the way, if you have stuff you want to talk about on the show, is Zepsard and Desiree and Tristan, which I don't know if he's in the chat here. Um, they put some comments here on stuff they want to talk about. So if you ever want to talk about anything on the live stream, uh, I'll be putting posts there on the community tab on my YouTube channel as well as on my Twitter page if you want to talk about stuff. Tristan had this to say. He says, "Hey Gino, a couple weeks ago you had mentioned watching Ghostbusters with your son. Huge fan of that idea. I'm a father of two myself, and I'm always getting into debate of sorts with my son's mother on what is appropriate for our 4 year old to watch. I'm of the mind it's kind of my opportunity to use his interest in movies to introduce deeper concepts of the world and open him up more creatively. Uh, not as an affront to his innocence, but just to kindle his good spirit and nature. Some examples of the movies I've watched with him under this intent are The Neverending Story, A New Hope, Kong Skull Island, Yellow Submarine, Coraline, Infinity War. Can I get some feedback or ideas from the group on good movie ideas that are fantastic visually and push the envelope beyond Disney kid stuff? Anyways, thanks for keeping it real, Gino. For me, um, when it comes to letting my kids watch stuff, my oldest son, who is special needs, he has something called Champ One. It's hard. I'm still learning, and I'll forever be learning with him on what he understands and what he doesn't, uh, and what he thinks is real and what isn't. Um, so it's really tricky for me to let him watch some of the stuff from my childhood. Now, there has been some movies that I have allowed him to watch because I think he could handle it. Things like the Sandlot movies. It's about baseball, at least the first one and the third one are. Don't get me started on the second, third one. But they're more about baseball and the Beast. And he handled those okay. He watched the Goonies and he got a little scared, but nothing he couldn't handle. So I let him do that. But I wasn't about to let him watch uh like I let my younger son who is is able to handle things a little better, at least somewhat. I let him watch Ghostbusters. And also I let him watch Ready Player One the other day because he's into video games and stuff. So we tried it. Um it all depends on their maturity level and what I think they can handle. Um, I don't know if I've told the Jurassic Park story or not. I'm sure I have, in some form, but whatever year, Jurassic World was out, the first one, and then also Captain America Civil War was out, or not Civil War, but Winter Soldier was out. Um, I took my son to go see Captain America, and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna see Jurassic World." I'm like, "You haven't even seen Jurassic Park." And I said, "I'll tell you what." I said, "If you can watch Jurassic Park and not be scared, um, I will let you watch Jurassic World." Fair enough, right? So I got Jurassic Park and I put it in and I had my hand on the pause button because I knew exactly when he was gonna get scared. And that was when the T-Rex grabs the lawyer and shakes him around. And of course, my son freaks out. And um and I paused it right away because I knew it was gonna freak him out. I mean, of course, he loved seeing the brachiosauruses and things like that, but he was fine with that, but I knew the T-Rex was gonna scare him, at least that scene. So we haven't finished it yet. And of course, again, that was years ago, whenever the first Jurassic World was out. And I said to him, I was like, "You gonna stick with your Land Before Time for a while?" And of course, that movie is kind of scary at points, and but he was okay with that one. When I showed him Ghostbusters, he got a little scared with the whatever the dogs, the gatekeeper and the keymaster, when they were dogs. He got a little scared with that whenever, especially when Sigourney Weaver's in the chair and the thing's reaching around the chair, grabbing her. He freaked out, but he was fine with the rest of the movie. And then when we watched Ready Player One, and I paused it before it happened when they showed the Shining part. I told him, I said, "Look, this was a scary movie, but they're making fun of it." But he didn't get that. Me having seen The Shining, I get that they're making fun of it, but it freaked him out. The rest of the movie he loved. So I really have to be careful with him when it comes to scary stuff. I mean, he is 9. And I think it just depends on the kid. I mean, I was watching horror movies when I was 7, 8 years old. Um, because my mom explained to me, you when you know this is real, if you think it's real, we're not doing this. But she goes, as long as you're good and understand that this is not real, well, you can watch it. And I've been fine ever since. So it all depends, I think, with their maturity level. So you really just have to gauge that. You have to be a parent and engage their maturity level because when like my son can handle action all day. I mean, we've watched the Avengers and we watched Captain America Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy, and he wants to see Infinity War, which I think the ending is going to freak him out. But we've seen that stuff and he was fine. But when it comes to scarier things, I got to be more careful with him. So it all just depends on the kid, I think. So that's how I feel about that. I mean, I'm all for introducing your kids to the cinema you grew up with and things that will open up their mind and things. I want my kids to see movies like Bully someday. I bought extra copies of it for them to have because I want them to learn that there are people that are different in this world and that you should treat people better in this world. And being as someone that I was bullied growing up and dealt with that shit from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. I hated the idea of school my entire life. And then I get to college and everything's way different. And everyone's at least trying to be cool and trying to be friends. I mean, you're going to have people you disagree with, but you get out of it and you know, it's way different. You get out of high school and all that and you realize that there is a better world out there, even though elementary school and high school did F me up for a while. Um, so I want them to see movies like that, but I also have to gauge what I think they can handle. So, and all kids are different. Again, I watched scary movies when I was 7, 8 years old, and I was fine. Can Ryan handle that though? Not really. He's not ready for it. But when it comes to action, he's fine. So I just know what he can handle and what he can't. And you just really just have to gauge it. So that's the way I look at it. All kids are different, so it's hard to really tell. But let's see. Daniel says, if your kids watch Ralph Breaks the Internet and Spider Man in the Spider Verse, both of them have seen Ralph Breaks the Internet. Um, Andy's seen it twice because he went and seen it with his mom, and then they had a school trip, and they went and seen it. He went to see it again, and he loved it. And neither of them has seen Spider Man yet. Andy's. Uh, I don't know if he'd sit through Spider Man. Ryan would though. I probably will take Ryan right before it leaves the theaters. Um, Benjamin says some Disney films can push the envelope. Fantasia, Fun and Fancy Free, Sleepy Hollow, the 40s version, Peter Pan, Mulan, and all kids friendly. Daniel says your son thinks that fake things are in real life because of movies. I'm confused. Um, I guess I don't understand that. No, look, when it comes to my kid in movies, um, I guess what I'm saying is, uh, I just want him to learn that movies are fake and they're for entertainment. And if they scare him, I don't want him to watch them yet. I guess that's the thing. If he, because I mean, when he starts having nightmares and things, um, but I just don't want him. I just know that he's not ready for certain things yet. I hope that explains it. Um, but let's see. Ryan says, since your kids have seen older films, have they seen older TV shows from your time? Yeah, I've showed them. Things like Mister Rogers' Neighborhood, and of course, you watch older Sesame Streets, and yeah, I've shown him all the stuff. I mean, we tried GI Joe. Ryan would probably be into that more now, but I tried it a little too early. Turtles, Transformers. If I grew up with it, I probably have some form of media of it, and we've at least tried it once. So yeah, I definitely show them as much of the old stuff as I can, and they like some of it and don't like others. Um, Desiree says, I was allowed to see a lot of stuff growing up. I'm thoroughly desensitized. My mom and granny are big fans of horror and sci fi, so I grew up with a lot of horror. I'm incapable of being scared anymore. Yeah, that's kind of how I am. The only things I had trouble watching and I didn't want to watch was like the human centipede. I just, that stuff, just, I don't care. I'm watching, I'm like, yeah, it's not that it was making me sick or anything. Um, so Um, I I was watching it and I'm like, this is dumb. And I just didn't want to watch it because I understood what I didn't see the point of other than just, hey, it's trying to gross me out. So that's why I didn't watch it. Not that I can't watch it. I could, I just didn't want to. Um, let's see. Benjamin says maybe wait for the new Avengers before Infinity War. Then you can show them that everything's okay when it is eventually resolved. Yeah, probably a good idea. Daniel says, I was really scared in Ready Player One when the little kid rejects hugging Olivia Cook, Samantha for no reason. I liked Ready Player One, but I don't know. There were some things in that bother me. Um, it was like with especially with Olivia Cook character. Don't get me wrong. I think Olivia Cook is going to be a very good act. She is a very good actress now, and she's only going to get better. But her role in this was, I have a birthmark, so I can't show my face. I could understand the way she was acting if like maybe they scarred like half her face or something, but she had a little birthmark over her eye. She looked like Domino, you know, and it's like, I can't be out in the world. It's like, come on. It's like you're still pretty, you know. Um, I mean, I know her character was this whole confidence thing, but I don't know. I think if they were going to play the confidence card, they should have done it to where, and I don't know how it is in the book. I've never read the book, but they should have done more to, you know, play up the lack of confidence physically, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Um, Let's see. I think I heard you say that one of your sons thinks that things in movies are real. Well, I guess what I'm saying is I don't want him to be scared of things. Like, say he goes to bed and he sees, the Jurassic Park T Rex tearing apart the lawyer. I guess. I mean, I just don't want him to think that they are real because I mean he's asked me about monsters in the closet and things like that before I let him watch this stuff. So um I just want him to understand reality versus moviedom, I guess. Uh to be able to watch them and just say, I know this isn't real. And the way he got through Ghostbusters, I said, I wouldn't let you watch a movie where things weren't okay, right? They weren't okay in the end. He goes, so the Ghostbusters are gonna win. And I was like, yes. And he goes, okay. And then he was fine till the end. He got a little scared when Gozer popped up, but then laughed his head off whenever the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man showed up. Um, so I knew he was gonna be okay. Um, Let's see. Benjamin says lots of kids believe in movies when they're young. That's why I love musicals and romance films. But I think that'll probably go down like a ton of bricks with most kids. Yeah, we watched Willow. I'll give you Willow as an example. Excuse me. We watched Willow, and my son loved it. But when it got to which I love the part with uh, the dust, the love potion or the love dust, where they hit Mad Mardigan in the face and I love you, Sorsha, and all that stuff. My son was sitting there just like, "Ugh." It's like, buddy, come on. I said, someday, you drop in the line, someday you're not gonna mind. And he's just he's like, oh, move on. It's like, buddy, it's just part of the movie. Just enjoy it. And of course I've always had a crush on Sorsha. So, I'm just like, just the rest of the movie's gonna be good. Just be quiet. Um, but he wouldn't sit through uh a lot of love stories and stuff. The Sandlot 2 had a bit of a love story going on, but they were too busy being preoccupied by all the other stuff going on in that movie. Don't know what that was. Um but to pay attention to the love story. But you know, uh but straight up love stories, I'm not sure how well it would go over with them. Um then again, we watched the new Annie. My oldest one to watch the new Annie, and we watched it because he loves musicals. Yeah, he loves musicals. He loves music. Period. So he sat through, and they have a bit of a love story in that. Um, so he was fine with that, but Ryan was just kind of at those parts. So let's see. Benjamin says I alternate between Tim Burton and Judy Garland. Weird film taste. Hey, we all have our weird film tastes every now and then. Um, Ryan says, with Welcome to Marwen out soon, what is your favorite Zemeckis movie aside from Back to the Future trilogy? Now you're gonna make me look that up, um, because I can't remember everything he's done. I'm not one of those encyclopedias. I gotta have this stuff in front of me. Um, but yeah, I'll be able to tell you here in a second. Um, let's see, Zemeckis. For counting directing, let's see. Um, let's see. Oh, it had to be Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Yeah, it's Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Because that's one of my favorite movies of all time. So, and I still am mad that we haven't had another one. Um, there was supposed to be that what was it, Mickey and Roger, like detective movie or something that they were working on. It never really got made. And so yeah, it's definitely Roger Rabbit. Ryan says, well, you want your kid to see like behind the scenes footage of movies to help him understand? Yeah, eventually. Um, he'll sit through some of that stuff. We sat through some of that stuff for some of the cartoons he's watched, like some of the like if you like the Pixar stuff or things like that. He'll sit there and watch that a little bit, but I don't know. His attention span isn't the greatest yet when it comes to that stuff. So eventually, I'm really hoping he gets more interested in sitting through stuff like that. Um, but if it's not the movie, a lot of times he doesn't really care to sit through it. Um, Daniel says, just tell your son, son, the ending of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is a lie, and that's why I hated it so much. And there's no such thing to get scared of. Yeah, Fallen Kingdom is bad. I thought Jurassic World was bad, and then I saw Fallen Kingdom. Um, let's see. Benjamin says my brother would run out of the room if anyone even pretended to kiss him. Yeah, I'll do that with Ryan a little bit. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a kissy scene. Mwah, mwah," I'd act like you know, uh, Pepe Le Pew to him, and and he'd be like, stop it. It's like, oh, come on, buddy. Let's see. Desiree says, I can't do romance or rom coms. I'm just so irritated with them in a way I can't describe. I always like to say my favorite romance flick is Shaun of the Dead. Hey, it's a romantic movie. I mean, he does get his girl back. Um, yeah, I can do good romance movies. Now, rom coms are a dime a dozen, and a lot of them just feel like, um, wash, rinse, repeat nowadays. Um, but then occasionally you get good ones. I can't really think of any off the top of my head, but over the last few years, there have been some good romance movies. Like A Star Is Born this year was really good. I mean, yeah, I know it's like what the 15th iteration of it, but it's fantastic. And I thought the love story is really good. I mean, it's got its ups and downs and everything else, but especially rom coms, though, I get tired of the perfect A meets perfect B, then they have a problem and then they get back together. I get tired of that formula. Um, so yeah, I mean, I always like to see fun twists on rom-coms or romance stories. If you're not going to give me a creative story, I mean, don't get me started on things like The Time Traveler's Wife, things like that, or whatever. Yeah, Time Traveler's Wife. I think is what. God, I hated that movie. Um, let's see. Just tell your kids that are more things that are real that are scarier than dinosaurs and ghosts. Just show them Me Too. Oh boy. Um, Me Too. You know, Hollywood needed cleaned up, and we all understand that Hollywood needed cleaned up. But I mean, it's gotten to a point where whether it be true or not, if you were accused, you did it. And granted, a lot of people have been weeded out, your Weinsteins and your Cosbys, and I mean, Weinstein's still making headlines. I mean, he's definitely going to be him and Cosby are going to be uh, the biggest downfalls of the Me Too movement. But um, you just never know. I mean, someone here in the chat could accuse me of something, even though I don't think I've met any of you in person. Um, so I mean, there's just you g- the Me Too thing can be a good thing, and it has been a good thing, but it also can be a very dangerous thing. Because anybody can accuse anybody of anything, and in this uh, arena of the public internet, it can destroy lives, whether they did something or not. So yes, Me Too is very scary. I'm waiting for the Me Too horror movie. Um, let's see. Let's see. Um, let's see. Favorite Christmas TV specials. I can't really say I have any. I mean, I used to watch the like stuff like The Grinch and things like that, but I don't really watch a lot of that stuff anymore. I don't really watch a lot of Christmas movies unless they're in theaters now. Um, I have two go to movies, and I just watched them last night. And I've probably mentioned them before, so I'll just mention it again. I if I can do it, I'm gonna try to do a video on them because I want to do a kind of a twofer video if I get a chance. I thought I was gonna be able to do them on Saturday, but I'm gonna be a little busy Saturday now. We'll see what happens. I watch Die Hard about every other year, and I watch The Ref every year. I know not television specials, but and I'm definitely not going to watch the the edited for television versions of those. Um, but so I watched those two. You know, I like I said, I used to watch Charlie Brown and things like. I just can't do it anymore. This the Christmas season again is important for my kids, and I do get together with what's left of my family. A lot of my family aren't around anymore, and either in location or of this earth. So I mean, I do it for my kids, and when I don't have my boys, when they're with their mom for their week on with their mom, and not their, you know, when they're not with me for my weeks, because we do a week on, week off thing. um, I don't light the Christmas tree. I don't, do any of that stuff. But then when they're there, then I celebrate it with them. I do it for them. Because if it weren't for them, I probably wouldn't do much when it comes to Christmas. What, in your opinion, is the most underrated Christmas movie? For me, that'd be Arthur Christmas. Underrated Christmas movie. I'm gonna throw the ref out there, because not a lot of people. I mean, people have seen that movie, but when you think of Christmas movies, you don't think of that one. I'm gonna say the ref because, I mean, not a lot of people even know what that movie is. I had to buy it cheap, uh, at a used store to even find a copy of it, and I love that movie, and I think it's definitely underrated. Um, and I mean, because there's plenty of overrated Christmas movies. I mean, uh, it's a Wonderful Life, I think, is extremely overrated. I love A Christmas Story, but I think it's gotten to a point where I can't watch it anymore. Um, but it there are some decent underrated movies. Yeah, Arthur Christmas was cool. I can't think of any off the top of my head. What was the one? It wasn't just Christmas though, but it had like Jack Frost and the Easter Bunny and Santa, and it was almost like a uh, you know supernatural, imaginary kids Avengers. I can't remember what it was called though. Um, that one I kind of consider that a Christmas movie. Rise of the Guardians. Thank you. Oh, I guess it is an Easter movie. I keep. I just remember it had the elves and stuff. I've only seen it the one time. I guess it is an Easter movie. Um, so oops. Uh, let's see. The Importance of Being Earnest. How about that for a rom com? Have I even seen that movie? I don't know if I've seen The Importance of Being Earnest. I know the name. I see too many movies now. It's hard to remember what I've seen anymore. Let's see. Daniel says, "Well, the Weinstein Company is going to be missed because they brought some awesome Oscar and Tenor films, but nobody is going to miss their animated movies." Nope. Um, let's see. Let's see. To be born in a handbag, whether it had handles or not, seems to me to display a contempt for the ordinary. Uh, uh, Family Life reminds me of worst. I have no idea what you mean there, Benjamin. Oh, um, talking about the importance of being earnest, I'm sure. Um, yeah, yeah, I don't know if I've seen that. Um, let's see. Hey, Narcotic, what's going on? Oscar Wilde classic film with Colin Firth and Judy Dench. I think I've seen it, but that's why you have to watch the British version of Importance of Being Earnest. Um, have to check that one out. Let's see. If you guys got any more things you want to talk about, we'll go ahead and do that. I've got nothing else for tonight. And again, I apologize for not having more of a show ready, but when you're sick, you're sick. But you know, I'm definitely on the mend, and I'm definitely going to be playing catch up. Just so you guys know, again, I'm going to be working on a makeup video probably Friday with everything I've seen up until then. That includes The Mule, Mortal Engines, Aquaman. Let's see, it'll have Mary Poppins, whatever the name of the Jennifer Lopez movie is. I mean, come on, aren't they all the same? Um, and then Marwin. But then also on Saturday, I found this out right before I went on. Saturday, I'm going to be doing reviews of Marwin, the Jennifer Lopez movie, and what was the other one? The Favorite with Brad on Saturday over on his channel. So definitely check that out. I have no idea what time or anything. It'll probably be, when is his normal thing start, about 9 or 10. So when I know more, I'll probably do an announcement on Twitter. But he just invited me, so I'm not sure what time we're doing anything. But we're doing those three movies together, I think. So definitely check that out. I'm gonna do the last of the comments here. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, we had a bunch of them here. Let's see. Speaking of Weinstein, which is their worst film they dubbed tamper with? The Thief and the Coward, Dougal, or Roberto Benigni's Pinocchio? The only one I've seen is Pinocchio, and I was not a fan. Let's see. I need to see the 1950s one. It's like a Mel Brooks parody of Jane Austen. That would probably be pretty great. Desiree says, I've read The Importance of Being Earnest. Oscar Wilde is my favorite author. I have a complete collection of his works, but I am wary seeing films based on his work. Benjamin says, it's a little slow. Uh, uh, and Starbuck keeps going. Let's see. Dana says, the Weinstein Company did have one lucky shot with Hoodwinked and maybe Leap. I did not like Leap being good. Because here's the thing with Leap, apparently it was called something else, like ballerina or something before, and I remember seeing it as Leap, and it was bad, and apparently the ballerina one was good. So who knows? um I can't remember exactly what it was called, but yeah, the Leap was, the English dub one was terrible. At least I thought it was terrible. Um, let's see, but they made one of the worst anime films, like Dougal, Arthur and the Invisibles, Hoodwink 2, Escape from Planet Earth. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of. I don't think I've seen Dougal, but I've seen the rest of those, and I was not really a big fan. And Underdogs. Let's see. Narcotic Casserole says, honestly, sickness is going around, and I'm amazed everyone's output has been so good in lieu of it. Um, yeah, I the last 2 weeks I've been dealing with migraines, vomiting, sinus pressure, anything that I could get hit with. I mean, as you can tell, I have not shaved. I have not, I mean, I've had vacation Monday through Wednesday last week and this week, and I have gotten hardly anything done. I mean, as you've seen on my channel, my last review was Bumblebee. And after that, I'm just like, I've seen movies, but I just like, I get home and I'm like, I don't want to talk about them. I just want to go to bed. So, yeah, I've just been in bad shape. I'm on the mend. Though Narcotics says, is Anna and the Apocalypse playing over there? No, it's not, and that's unfortunate because I really want to see it. Uh, they announced it for Springfield a couple weeks ago, and then Brad told me, he goes, we were gonna go see it, and then it disappeared, and then it hasn't come back. I haven't really been looking for it though, so I'm gonna look and see if it pops up because I really want to see that one. Let's see. Ryan says the Weinsteins also made a dub of a Chinese animated film called The Guardian Brothers that was supposed to be released in theaters, but it got dumped on Netflix unannounced. Let's see. Daniel says, I thought the first 20 minutes of second act. Remember, I saw that. Oh, that's right. You did see it. Is a cringy chick flick fest, but it starts to pick up there where it is actually enjoyable with a twist. We'll see. I'm seeing it in Marwin tomorrow. At least that's the plan. Depending on how I feel, but I may see one on Friday. I'm not sure, but I want to get some work done. Um, I'm hoping it's good. But the thing with Jennifer Lopez movies is they just, a lot of them just feel the same. Um, I mean, especially the rom com stuff. It's just like very, just, let's throw this in a bowl and we'll have it, and there's your movie. So hopefully it's good. I that's just it. When it comes to movies, I hope everything's good because I don't like to waste my time. I don't have any time to waste, and I don't want to waste my time. So I always hope it's good. Um, but I just, unfortunately, with Hollywood, they like to waste my time. So, and then they don't release good stuff that I want to see, which is really unfortunate. I just, I wish they would, we've talked about this whole thing where they they don't release a lot of the stuff that they say are good movies, like your Oscar contenders uh and your whatever you want to call them, limited release films or whatever. But they then they don't release them anywhere. So, it's just, I don't know. I get tired with this day and age of streaming. Um I just I don't see I don't see why we can't see anything we want. If it's not going to be released in wide in theaters, release it on Vudu or Xbox Live or PlayStation, whatever their thing is called, or whatever. Release it on that stuff, because just give people a chance to see. You'll make money, because what are you going to you're not going to lose money putting a file on there, so just let us see it. Um and I think people would find more movies to enjoy that way. Which is it's really unfortunate. And I just did look Narcotic, and no, we do not have Anniversary Apocalypse near us. Um let's see. Yeah, it's not in Orlando, and either I hate it when they widespread a holiday film. Yeah, I'm really surprised it didn't show up. I'm honestly, I haven't looked on like Voodoo and stuff though, for it specifically. So you never know. It might be streaming right now. I doubt it, which is unfortunate. But yeah, a holiday movie, not seeing a holiday movie out of the holidays is always weird. I feel weird watching Christmas movies in October, whenever they start releasing stuff like that. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I wish they would release that to where, especially if it's about a holiday, release it during the holidays. Even if it's at half the theaters and I have to travel to see it, at least release it somewhere. I haven't seen it even in St. Louis and stuff. From I think it was in Chicago, was the closest to me, that it was. Let's see. Daniel says second act has a plot twist. Dun dun dun. We'll see. More twists in the Book of Henry. Oh my! More twists in the Book of Henry. Oh man, Jennifer Lopez isn't gonna like kill somebody, is she? Let's see. Let's see. Favorite Seuss book. I think we talked about this before, but um, I always enjoyed like Hop on Pa. I mean, anything Seuss, but um I liked there was one okay, there was one that me and my kids read a lot growing up, or whenever they were growing up. And I don't remember the exact name of it, but it was like the ABCs, basically, of Dr. Seuss, and it was all sorts of weird, you know, Dr. Seussian things throughout the book. So it'd probably have to be that, because my kids really enjoyed that one. But I like Cat in the Hat and things like the Lorax and stuff. I'm okay with. Um, but being that movies kind of bastardized it, things like the Lorax, I still get really a big laugh out of the Lorax movie being against capitalism. Yet, how many commercials did we see for it trying to sell the Lorax, trying to sell cars and IHOP and things like that? Just kind of cracked me up. Let's see. But I like the book, The Lorax. Don't get me wrong. The book's great. The movie is meh. Let's see. Desiree's favorite Dr. Seuss book is Lorax. Yeah, the cartoon is blasphemous, to Seuss's to Seuss's intentions. Yeah, the movie is crap. And I remember when I reviewed it, I got called out by a bunch of people. They're like, "How dare you say this against capitalism?" I'm like, "Fine. You want me to review the movie and not mention capitalism? Here's all this other crap that sucked about it." Um, let's see. Let's see. Narcotic says at least we got Kurt Russell clause on schedule. I still haven't got to see that movie yet. I'm gonna try to watch it this weekend. Um, let's see. Ryan says which is better, Nightmare Before Christmas or James and Giant Peach? I like Nightmare Before Christmas better. That's just personal choice. Nothing against James and Giant Peach, because I kind of like that movie too, and I like the book of that. But movie wise, I just think I like the characters in Nightmare better. Um, let's see. Daniel says, Narcotic says, Nightmare. Daniel says, true. I said there's a plot twist that is more insane than the Book of Henry, but I never said that the twist is okay. It's the twist is very light. I was just kidding, but that's it. It surprises me that a rom com would have a big twist in it. So, it really does, because nowadays for a rom-com to be good, it's definitely got to do something different, and they don't do that anymore. They just like, oh well, people like this, and we'll just do this. I mean, especially those. Oh, and it's not a rom-com. It looks like a rom-com. Um, then again, I guess she's not, falling in love with someone in it because she's already married, if I'm not mistaken, in the movie. Uh, so yeah, I'm kind of all right. You piqued my curiosity, Dan. You piqued my curiosity. I'll give you that. I won't say I'm looking forward to the movie, but you piqued my curiosity. So I'm I'm interested in seeing it. I'm not hearing good things about the movie, but then again, I don't put a lot of stock in Rotten Tomatoes. I use Rotten Tomatoes as a okay, just how are other critics gauging things, because I find myself disagreeing with critics a lot. I like to think of myself more as a fan critic because, you know, I'm never going to be an Ebert because that man, before he died, probably forgot more about film than I will ever be able to learn. Um, but I I'm forever the student when it comes to movies because I'm always, I'll see something that's new to me, but someone will say, "Well, it was in 15 other movies." It's like, "Well, I haven't seen everything." Anytime someone says, "What do you mean you haven't seen?" Uh, I watch movies when I can, and I watch it, and I really until 2011, I didn't watch even 2011. I didn't watch everything. It didn't about 2012 is where I started watching just about everything that was in theaters. So that's really where my palette kind of widened when it comes to movies. So anything before that, now I have gone back and watched some things before that, um, but I I wasn't always a student of movies, I guess. So I'm just a fan, and I love movies that I watch, and I love to talk about them, whether I like them or not. So let's see. Daniel says, but if you have to see second act with Brad, you should tell him that I said that the plot twist is really dark and more dark than the Book of Henry. And I remember he hated Book of Henry. I wanted to like Book of Henry, but man, that movie was kind of dumb. Um, that made me afraid for episode 3 of Star Wars because Trevorrow is going to be uh, doing Star Wars after that, or episode 9. Sorry. Um, and it made me afraid for that after seeing. I'm like, oh God, no. Um, because yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that's Trevorrow, right? Uh, you have to forgive me. Um, but but yeah, the Book of Henry, it was just not good. Yeah, Colin Trevorrow's director. Yeah, that made me afraid for Star Wars. Sorry, I had to look that up because I'm tired. But yeah, it's yeah, well, I won't be seeing it with him, so he will have seen it. We're gonna be watching a couple of the movies separate. We're gonna watch The Favorite together, but we're watching Marwin and that one separate, and then just reviewing them together. As a joke, I should trick Brad. Um, yeah, I don't know if I'll do that to him, but that would be a mean joke. Let's see. Desiree says the end of the Lorax was supposed to be a somber way of saying unless we stop being frivolous with the environment, nothing will get better. But the movie totally destroyed the impact of it's in our hands. Yeah, it didn't do anything well. I mean, I wanted to like it, um, but that movie lost me real quick, and then its message was definitely did not do very well. Um, let's see, and I could mention, uh, and I Daniel saying, uh, oh, and I could be mentioned on the midnight screenings of it. Um, yeah, I might text him. I don't know. Um, we try not to talk about the movies beforehand because I know he's kind of like me. We try not to research things too much. And even if I throw that little trick at him, um, we try not to research things too much when it comes to movies because we kind of just want to be surprised if if something does surprise us when it comes to a movie. Let's see. Narcotic says if you read his reviews prior to his death, you can tell something was amiss. If you're talking about Ebert, yeah. Um, I saw Ebert at the last Ebert Fest he was at, and you could tell um, he was going to pass away soon. I can't remember how soon after that he passed away. Um, it got to a point where they weren't going to do another Ebert Fest, um, but they were talking about not doing them after he passed away, and they've continued since then. I've got some issues with them continuing the way they've been continuing, but that's another story for another day. Um, I just feel that, and I think I mentioned this before, but it just gets to a point where yes, his wife knows him better than anyone ever could, but her saying, well, Roger would have loved this. And it's like, well, how do you really know? Um, but yeah, you could tell, uh, like I said, when I had a chance to meet him and I didn't want to bother him because he had been sick and he could barely walk and I didn't want to bother him and everyone else was bothering him. I didn't want to be a dick. Um, And I mean, I regret not meeting him? Yes. Do I feel better not bothering a sick man that just wanted to get back to his recliner? Yeah, I felt okay with that. I made the right decision, I think. So yeah, I didn't meet him, but I mean, he walked right past me, and that was enough for me. And um, I would have loved to. I mean, it was at a point where he couldn't even talk, and I didn't want to bother him, and uh yeah, I mean, just seeing him that way was bad. But yeah, you could tell whenever, prior to his death, that something was going on. Daniel says I should text him. I'll give him a text, and I'll give Brad a text and tell him that. Ryan says since Eric Edelstein Grizzly was in Jurassic World and Bobby Moynihan Panda was in the Book of Henry, do you think Dimitri Martin Ice Bear will be in Trevorrow's next film? Probably. Uh, if they let Trevorrow make another film. Um, let's see. I was so glad when they took him off Star Wars. Let's see. Let's see. Daniel says, and make him believe it until he sees it. Daniel says, Welcome to Tomorrow and is surprisingly getting terrible reviews at 17%. Yeah, I saw that. I'm not sure what I think of that movie just by what little bit I've seen. I can kind of tell what the movie's doing, but it looks like one of those movies where the trailer's showing you everything. And I don't know. I'm not sure what I think of that one yet. I really want to be the judge of that one. I I don't know. I'm just curious. It's got me curious. But then he says, and people are saying that is downsizing but worse. I can't man, downsizing. I did not like downsizing at all. Um, I had some people rip on me for really ripping into that movie, and it's like, first of all, you didn't get what was advertised. That movie was advertised uh, like it was a comedy. Um, and there were parts of downsizing I did enjoy, but for the most part, that movie just did not do it for me. And I've only seen it the one time, and I don't remember everything I said about it. And I remember not really enjoying that movie. And you like downsizing, and that's okay. Movies are if there's only a few movies probably in life, and I'd really have to think about it, where if someone said they didn't like it and I said I did, or vice versa, I'd really argue with them. But um, there was when it comes downsizing, I could see people getting something from that movie. Again, I don't remember everything I said about it, and it's been too long ago since I've seen it. Um, let's see. It's just hard to really comment. Let's see. Desiree says, considering Welcome to Marwen is based on a true story, it's always odd when they add whimsical elements like animated doll things. I think it takes away from the impact of the story. I think I get why they're doing that because they're kind of maybe showing how his mind was working. I think that's what they're doing with it. It's not like some magical thing like you know, oh, like Small Soldiers or something. I think it's all his imagination and all his thought process. So I think that's why they're doing it. Which is why it's got me curious. So we'll see. Will it take away from the impact of the story? We'll find out. Um, Narcotic says looks like creepier than Walter Mitty. Which one was Walter Mitty? I don't remember that one. Walter Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Oh, the one where he went traveling around the world. Yeah, I do. I barely remember that one. Uh, yeah, I remember seeing that one. I remember liking that one. Okay, though, but I don't remember it that well. It must not have stuck out that well to me if I don't remember it that much. Um, Daniel says, and the trailers for downsizing is not misleading for me. Unlike Suburbicon, yeah, the trailers misled me a little bit, but I wasn't sure where they were going. Yeah, Suburbicon was definitely way different than advertised. Yeah, definitely way off on that one. Says, but hey, Daniel says, but hey, you should teach your kids about misleading marketing. I do every chance I get. I'll say, did you like that trailer? Well, the movie was terrible, and this is why. I do explain that stuff to them why they'll want to go see a movie, and I'll say, well, it's not going to be what you think it is. Granted, there's still kids, and a lot of movies do advertise themselves at least somewhat well, um, but especially when they get older, yeah, you definitely got to be careful with the marketing because a lot of times you do get misled. I can't stand it. What I like is I don't mind if a movie misleads me and is better, and better for it. Like they don't. I mean, think, and this is a different kind of misleading, but think of the Avengers Infinity War trailer. I mean, they misled the crap out of people with that one, but I was fine with it because the movie was better than the marketing. But yeah, then you get a movie that you think it's going to be some kind of comedy or something, it ends up being totally serious. If it's a better movie, it's a fine line because if it's a better movie, then fine, you were happy you were misled. But if it's just something totally different that doesn't work, that does not help. Let's see The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, Ben Stiller, with Ben Stiller, and it was awesome trailer and two songs that turned out to be a mediocre movie. Yeah, I don't remember it well enough. I remember enjoying it, but I don't remember if I loved it or not. Um, did you see the trailer for Norm of the North 2? Lionsgate is releasing it simultaneously on VOD and in select theaters next month. That does not surprise me. I'm not surprised it's not getting a wide release because the first movie was not good. Um, but it I like the idea of them releasing stuff on VOD and limited in theaters. Again, if it's not something that a lot of people are going to go see, just release it at home. Not everything has to be in the theaters anymore. Granted, I like seeing movies in the theaters, but if it's not going to do well and you're not going to put it in all the theaters, then let us have it at home. I mean, I know they want to charge $7, $8 for a rental or whatever, but you pay that for a movie theater ticket, unless you have like a list or something. So, um, oh, the Avengers Infinity War was misleading because they showed like Wakanda and showed all the heroes running towards the screen, including the Hulk. They showed the scene in Wakanda where they showed the gauntlet, and Thanos in the trailer only had like two stones, where in the movie he had all the stones. I mean, they just did little misleading things like that that uh, hid the true story because people analyze trailers so much nowadays, and uh they want to put, people like, well, this is in the movie and this is in the movie. Well, if they show you stuff that's just not in the movie period, well, and then they give you a great movie, then that's how it was misleading. um let's see let's see Narcotic says, on the other hand, damn it, it's fun watching trailers that are deliberately misleading, like Scary Mary or Shining as a Cameron Crowe movie. If they're misleading in the right way, I'm so tired of seeing a trailer and being interested in a movie, and then it just ends up being something totally different and bad. Daniel says, I love the trailers for Secret Life of Walter Mitty because of the two songs they add in it, but it fooled me. Yeah, there's nothing worse than that. This is gonna be the last comment, I think. Narcotic Castrol says, I've even seen a fake trailer for Sophie's Choice recut to look like a comedy of manners. Yeah, stuff like that's kind of funny. I like it when they cut trailers like a rom com to look like a horror movie and stuff. Uh, that stuff's kind of fun. But whenever a trailer comes out and it advertises one thing and then it's totally something different, then it's just kind of annoying. Um, let's see. Worst trailer I've seen that actually spoiled stuff. I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was some movie where, and it's not a great movie or anything, but it had Daniel Craig in it, and it was supposed to be at something where all this stuff was like in his head, and the trailer tells you that. And granted, they threw one little other twist in there, but it wasn't worth it. Um, yeah, it was like halfway through the trailer, it's like, oh, uh, yeah, it's all in his head. Why'd you tell me that? Yeah, it just kind of sucked. Um, let's see. Desiree says in the Spider-Verse trailers were like that. They really underplayed the art style and showed the scenes that weren't even the movie. They really hid the film. Yeah, they had a lot of stuff in that. I mean, in that movie, there's two Peter Parkers, and I mean, if you really listen in the trailer after you've seen the movie, you can tell that. But if you really aren't thinking about it, you think, oh, there's only one Peter Parker. Stuff like that. I like that they hid stuff, and that's a fantastic movie. Daniel says, also the Suburbicon trailers got me hooked because the trailers look like a fun comedy, just like the Nice Guys. I love the Nice Guys. But ended up turning out to be a drama movie with hateable characters. Yeah, that movie was definitely a lot darker than it. I mean, yeah, the trailer looked hilarious, and then the movie itself was dark. Especially Matt Damon's character is just crazy dark in that. Let's see. Uh, let's see. You saying Castaway gave away everything in the trailer? Um, let's see. Oh, I mean, in time. Oh, was in time the one with Justin Timberlake? I think it was. Yeah, there's too many movies that give away too much now. There, I can't stand the trailers. Like, here's the whole movie beat by beat. So that drives me nuts too. Well, guys, I think we're gonna call it a night. Um, I gotta I gotta fix my supper and I gotta go back to work tomorrow. In Time is the Daniel Craig movie you're talking about. I don't think so. Is it? I don't remember. Let me look that up. Let's see. Um, it's hard to remember. Uh, the Daniel Craig movie I'm talking about is Dream House. Dream House is the Daniel Craig movie I'm talking about. Where yeah, halfway through it's just like, hey, it's all in my head. Really? Trailer? Thanks. Um, but anyway, I think that's gonna be all for tonight. I'm pretty wiped out and oh it's all right. It's I can't remember half my movies either. Half the time I see too many movies now. Half the time people ask me what's good out in theaters. I can't remember last week, guys. But anyway, guys, oh, the trailer gave away the end. That's right, they do in the trailer for Castaway. But anyway, guys, have a good Christmas, holiday, whatever it is you celebrate. Thank you so much for joining me. Um, as always, it's been a good time. I'm glad that the we got rid of the first one and did this second one because now the chat was working and we went for a good amount of time. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll have another low budget live stream in 2 weeks. Should be at 7 p.m. Central Time on Wednesday. I think that would be, I believe it's the second. Yeah, that'd be the second. And also, again, make sure to keep an eye on the channel. Probably Friday, I'm probably going to do a here's everything I've seen video just to get caught up. Also, I will be starting a new Geno's Bad at Games, hopefully this weekend or next week. And then remember on Saturday, I'll be working with Brad. Make sure to check out our reviews of the Jennifer Lopez movie, Marwin, and The Favorite. As always, thank you so much for watching. And as always, I am the real Gino Reynolds. See you later, and thanks for watching.